General Jim Mattis, 40 years in the U.S. Marine Corps. Okay, all set?
Whenever you're ready, sir.
All right. Phil, I'll tell you right up front, there were some jobs in the Marine Corps I didn't care for. I learned to hate minefields at age 21 when the Marine Corps trained me as a second lieutenant in the infantry to go through them. And I continued to hate minefields as long as I had to encounter them throughout my career. But the reason I stuck around the Marine Corps was the spirit of the Marines. I knew I could make a lot more money doing something else, and I knew I could live a lot better quality of life and not be deployed all the time. But it was the spirit of the Marines that kept me motivated. I never went to work feeling like woe is me, that life is tough or anything else. I look forward to every day, and it's simply because I stuck around the Marine Corps for the right reason, and that was to serve alongside young Marines. The junior NCOs, the junior officers whose coaching, whose animating spirits brought out the best in their troops, who had admired leadership. We all know that earning the trust and respect of your subordinates is critical. You simply have to earn that trust. You have to earn that respect. You have to earn that every day, because when it's all over and done with, you're not going to win any fights as a leader. Your troops are going to win those fights. But there was another word I learned to prioritize as I evaluated units, and that word was affection. It's not popularity with all the favoritism that comes with trying to be a popular person as a leader. That's a road to failure. But affection that you create in a unit, an affection so strong that the troops will stick by one another, they'll carry out the mission even in peril. And I bring this one up because I believe that that kind of affection brings out self-discipline, where people don't want to let down the unit. And I think that if there is one lesson I learned along the way, that the more you can build that kind of affection in a unit, when the going gets tough, when people are getting shot down around you, it'll pull together, it'll pull through. And it'll be a lot smoother organization. It'll move more rapidly against the enemy, more fluidly against the enemy, and it will, generally speaking, have fewer disciplinary problems. Many different styles of leadership. You must stay authentic to who you are, but at the same time, we expect you to lead in no uncertain terms. In the Marine Corps, you're not paid to have a midlife crisis or ask people to help you through your midlife crisis. You're there to give the enemy a midlife crisis, and that means you put your Marines together into a good, tough team.
Morse.
Where you want me to point at, and then I'll go there and I'll bring everybody with us, okay?
Okay. I want to see the current practices, just a shot of that. So I want to start with, here's everything that we have in our files, guys, everything that everybody put in there, all right? That was all considered, reviewed, and taken into consideration. So we can scroll down to the agenda for the meeting. Okay, so the goal for this session today is we're not going to talk about systems. We're going to focus only on the process, right? Because everybody has their own a version of this of different systems. Some of you have Oracle, some of you have SAP, some of you have CMMS, or you call CMMS anything that you have. So we're not going to get into that. We're just going to get into the process. I'm going to present to you the first draft of the tag process, right? And hopefully we get alignment on the tag system concept. Let's see. And what I mean by that is, I think there was a misunderstanding by various plants. Each plant had their own interpretation. Some plants that still think that a tag is only created during a loss team. There's some plants that still think that a tag is only created during CILT. There's some plants that think that a tag is only created by operators. So what I'm trying to do here is we all need to get on the same page. And what we're going to show here today is anybody can create a tag, and the tag system is supposed to encompass everything. Okay.
Apologies for being late, Ramon. I had a bit of emergency myself, but apologies.
Oh, okay. Who was that?
Les.
Oh, Les. I thought you left us, buddy. I'm glad to see you.
No, I've took an opportunity. We've got a lot of things going on at the moment, but I still like to keep in touch, so when I can get in, I can.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. Okay, so like Ronaldo, like I was saying, some plants think that tags only should be created during a CILT. All right, so we have in here, we have Berea's current practices. We reviewed Latchford's practices. We looked at Kingston's practices. We looked at NSA, the one that you sent, Ronaldo, yesterday or day before. We looked at every page of that. We looked at everything, and we took that into consideration also. We looked at Novellus Europe, and after looking at all of these practices, we broke it down into main categories. We came up with the 4 or 5 main categories. What we found was one of the really strong one that had kind of the basic structure what we needed was Novellus Europe. Europe had a really good flow, so we used Europe's and everybody else's to create these 4 categories. When to initiate a tag, to raise a tag, when what should the approval process for a tag be, how should it be planned and scheduled, and how do you close the tags? And then we added when should it be reviewed. What I've added here is I'm going to go through the presentation, but if you have questions, put them in a sticky. Gerard, you're going to be blue. Reynaldo, you're green. Sung Young, you're red. Jeff, you're purple. And Les, pick a color, whatever color you want. You pick it through here, the sticky note. And you can pick whatever, if you want me to select one for you here, there's a kind of a light.
Don't do me pink. All right, let me just get this. I'm trying to be involved as well. One sec.
So somebody selected for you, I think. Les, I think you got put in as pink. Okay, so go ahead and the way you make a sticky is you just go to the left sidebar and then drag it out there and just write your question next to the piece of it if you have questions during the presentation. Okay. Oh, what happened here? Yeah. I created one by accident. All right, so now we're gonna get straight to it, guys. Okay. We have it broken down by generate, review, and approve, plan and schedule, and then close and review. And if you look at the left column, there is who is doing this, who in the process is responsible for doing that. And we made sure that we put anyone in this column here. All right, so the way we did this was we took the a generic org chart and we said, okay, who's who at the sites, and we know that the terminology is a little bit different in a big plant versus a small plant. In a big, maybe your ops leaders or your shift supervisors would be doing this, but a shift supervisor is an equivalent to our area leader. Our area leader / shift supervisor is a worker beyond the floor with the team, whereas in a bigger supervisor maybe is not working on a machine. So that's how we combined the terminology so there's less confusion. Okay. And same thing for maintenance, right? A maintenance leader at a small plant may hold a different role than the maintenance leader at a bigger plant, because the bigger plants are going to have sub positions to support such a big area, and that's fine. Okay, let's get started here. If we go over to generate and anyone. So if you take a look, anyone who finds an issue, they're going to work through this flow process. Perfect. Okay, so let me see here. So we covered this. and action items, we covered that. And the last thing we have is summary of meetings. Okay, guys, so summary time. Trent, what did you get out of this meeting? What are your thoughts?
I think the meeting was very good, very concise, very well organized. So, I think you deserve credit for doing that, and everyone credit for staying focused and so forth on the topic for today. And I think it's becoming more clear that overall progress is being made by the group.
Awesome. Good to hear. All right, Les, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to reiterate what I said before. I think you're doing a fantastic job there, Ramon. I think it's a very open and honest. You've got good participation, and I think you're learning as a group because you start to get a standards, challenging questions, and you're all listening. You've got generous listening, so everybody's listening to what's going on. So for me, I think you're making fantastic progress. So well done.
Hey, thank you.